All right, put your hands together for Lindsay one more time, guys. Great job, for Dave. Are we having fun tonight?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with, so an ex-girlfriend of mine just recently broke up. I asked her for a threesome, because everybody on the internet is talking about those, right? And she says, well, I'll consider having a threesome, but she's got to have smaller tits than I do. And I started busting up laughing, and she's like, what's so funny? I go, sweetheart, we are not going up shop for a girlfriend on Epstein Island. It's just not happening. So yeah, it's probably why she's my ex. I don't know. But I mean, I've got 5 kids, 3 ex-wives, and 4 baby mamas. So red flags are kind of my thing. So, I mean, she shouldn't have even agreed to date me in the first place. So that's on her. But with all my red flags on the dating sites, I'm constantly, having to try different dating sites because nobody's matching with me. And I ended up on a little bit kinkier dating sites. And I kept seeing the word edging. And what the fuck is edging? So I Google it, and look it up. And basically, us 80s babies invented it in the 90s. We called it dial-up internet. You're just holding your load, waiting for the picture to load. I didn't realize I was so with the times, back then. But even with the normal dating sites, there's a lot of, issues you run into, especially for myself. You swipe right on everybody, because you're just trying to find a match. And eventually it stops you and says, that's enough. You're either going to pay us or go find a different website, or come back tomorrow. So at that point, you make your way over to the hub and do a little John Cena 5-knuckle shuffle. And as luck would have it, as soon as you finish up that escapade, you get the match. And you're like, oh, a notification for a match. So you check that out. Well, post-nut clarity has kicked in at this point. And you realize that you swiped right on a 2, and probably shouldn't have done that. But beggars can't be choosers, so you send her a, hey, beautiful, how's it going? 5 years later, I now have my 5th child support payment and 3rd ex-wife. That's what I get for being the nice guy, I guess. But even with the porn sites, there's a lot of dangers, and you got to be careful, pop-ups and computer viruses and things like that. And I remember the one time, this was after my 2nd divorce, I believe. It popped up, MILF in your neighborhood is interested in you. And I took the bait and went ahead and followed the link. And we started chatting. We met at the local hotel that weekend. It was my Aunt Linda. I have not been invited back to Thanksgiving since. But it doesn't make any sense because I gave her the best 30 seconds I possibly could. Her sister didn't raise no bitch. I was going to give it a shot. All right, we'll shift gears a little bit. So if you work, I work in maintenance. So you deal with some seedy characters, people that aren't exactly PC. We say things you really shouldn't say in public. Dead baby jokes, Hitler jokes, things like that. And they always were hitting me up. Come on, Billy. You think you're funny. You're always cracking. That's what she said jokes. You've got to have something for us. And I kind of reluctantly looked around like, well, I've got what my dad always said. My sperm donor. It was his favorite joke. I said, but I don't like it. I'm just going to tell it just to shut you fuckers up. I'm like, all right, go ahead. I'm like, what do you call a black guy riding a Harley? They look at me and they're like, what? And I go, according to my dad, a thief, but what the fuck do I know? The worst part was, as I said that, I look up and here comes James, our 78-year-old black welder, walks in, and he's filling his coffee, and he's giving me a look. And I'm shaking at this point. I'm either getting fired, my ass kicked, or both. And he walks up, he goes, you think you're pretty fucking funny there, Billy, don't you? As he sips his coffee, and I was about 23 at the time, and I'm, no sir, I'm not, that was my dad's joke. He goes, I got a joke for you, Billy. What do you call a black guy flying a plane? And at this point, there's probably a puddle around my boots, because I really feel like he's about to throw me through a wall. He's, industrial millwright welder, he's a big guy. I go, James, I don't know, buddy. He goes, a pilot, you racist asshole. Yeah, I learned to keep my mouth shut at that point, and, stay in my lane. I've respected James ever since. All right, let's finish with this. I told it for the first time last night, and I didn't get, my ass kicked on the way out. So you see people on the internet getting tattoos that say, Trump's not my president. I'm not condoning one way or the other. It just seems like a weird tattoo to get. It would be like a Muslim getting a tattoo of bacon, and it says, not my breakfast. Or a flat earther getting a tattoo of a globe, and it says, not my planet. My personal favorite would be a lesbian getting a tattoo of a realistic penis that says, not my preference. All right, guys. I am the wise man. Lindsay, thank you.